Hello, people. I'm hoping that there's some people out there. My name is Sharon Brannan. I'm the drama teacher here at QE. And I'm just going to be talking you through some things today because it's quite difficult to do a taster class in drama on a Zoom call. But I'll show you, I thought it'd be a good idea to show you what some of our students actually do get up to. And I've got some things lined up to show you. But first of all, I thought I'd kick off with some frequently asked questions. So welcome. I can't even show you our drama studio at the moment, but you might get the impression of it by having a look at some of the video clips that I'm going to show later. But first of all, I thought I'd kick off with the Taster Day activity because this is meant to be a Taster Day. So hopefully everybody can see what I've got here. And what I have here, so what I've got here is the Taster Day activity for everybody. And hopefully if you have been on our site, you will have seen it for yourself anyway. But basically it's sort of, it will introduce you really nicely to the course. The main difference between the GCSE drama or performing arts course is that you will be expected to understand practitioners, the work of practitioners or theatre companies in a more advanced and complex manner. I mean, in such a way, a sophisticated manner that you are then enabled to put their ideas and their conventions and techniques into your own work, either work that you've devised yourself or perhaps texts that the exam board give us to work with. So to kick off, we start with three of the most obvious choices, and I'm thinking that probably quite a lot of you have done this stuff before. So naturalism. So I kick off with a naturalistic taster. If you were in the drama studio, what we'd do was we'd do some games to warm up and have a bit of fun and be creative and to warm our bodies and voices up. And then we'd do some improvisation. And I'd give you some things to improvise on. So really what I'm asking you to do, and perhaps you could do this at home if you've got some willing siblings or parents or something, you could have a go at improing something. And the task I've given you, the first task is this. This is the activity in short that I'm showing you. Sorry, I'm whizzing about here. But in a slightly longer, the naturalistic task is this. Choose one of these topics and it's obviously, I have chosen it because it's going to give you some kind of something that's quite a sort of explosive idea, and it's going to be an idea that's going to cause friction and anxiety, because that's the most fun you can do, isn't it? It's the most fun you can have in drama. There's no point sort of just having a breakfast scene where everybody's getting on with one another. So you're choosing one of these, and the example I've chosen to write about is three friends break into an exams office to look at a very difficult exam paper before you sit it, which is something probably everybody's wanted to do, but hopefully never done. And then once you have impro'd that or thought about it, I'm asking you, can you write it down? It doesn't have to be Shakespeare. It's just your own words. Have a go, put something together. It could be a two-hander or a three-hander. That means 3 people involved or 2 people involved, obviously. And there's my example. It's just pretty standard. I had a bit of fun with it. And there it is. So that's a naturalistic piece of drama that we put together. I then say to you, like if you were in the drama studio, I'd say, right, well, the next thing we're going to work on is stylized theatre. Stylized non-naturalistic theatre, it's sometimes called, is something, well, it does what it says on the tin, really. It's not going to give you a slice of real life. Some of you may have heard that phrase before. It's going to be something where the audience have to kind of guess, what are they doing? That's not natural. They are frozen, or they are speaking words that don't really make sense for the characters they're being. So it can be all sorts of things. I mean, we'll spend 2 years exploring stylized drama. So just to do it quickly, I've asked you to put together a frieze, a moment from the script that you have just written. And here is my wonderful drawing here, using again the same example, the 3 characters who've been caught trying to have a peek at the maths paper, and they've been caught. So here's my freeze frame. a frozen image. So a quick sketch of that that you can upload to me. And that's, in a nutshell, in a very small way, is stylized theatre, a freeze, that we've got to guess what's happening. And I don't know if you've got a good imagination, you might be able to imagine, oh, look, that's exactly how we'd have to freeze. I'm running away in terror. So you've got to put that into action. And then lastly, this is a little bit of political theatre, sometimes known as epic theatre. And what I'm asking you to do is, it's a kind of reflection and a comment on society. And it's a political theatre because it's kind of making a point of what you're trying to say to the audience. And again, I'm pretty sure many of you out there, if you have done drama, GCSE or performing arts, you may have heard of Bertolt Brecht. If you haven't, don't be freaked out by that. It's just a German guy who started wanting to put on plays that made a difference to his audience. It was as simple as that. I mean, considering he was around at the time when Hitler was coming into power, that's not really surprising, is it? That he'd be going, oh, we don't want this guy, he doesn't seem very nice. And he'd be putting that into his plays. So anyway, to go back to my original example, I'm asking you, okay, there's a freeze frame of the 3 students caught trying to cheat at their exam. And you're not going to have time to read this now, but if you have a look at that, it's got a kind of a political content, because it doesn't go, it asks you to come up with what happened next kind of scenario, and the actors become just voices that speak directly to the audience, and they don't come down against the students as such. Actually, if you have a look at it, they go, these students were under too much pressure. They were put into an untenable situation where they felt they had to do well, even though they normally didn't do that kind of thing. So it made a comment. So, and then I would ask you, if you were in the studio, to run those 3 different styles together into a performance. And I think if you were sitting back as a member of an audience and watching that, you'd kind of go, wow, that was really interesting. First of all, we kind of get to know these characters as real life. Then we see, like, oh, there's a crisis moment in freeze. And then we have some political comment about, like, they shouldn't have been put in that situation. Yeah, they did wrong, but there was a reason for it. And believe me, I've seen some really nice pieces done on something as simple as that. So basically, that's your work. If you'd like to have a go at that, please do. All the information is there. Send it to me. The other thing that you might like to do, if you are feeling like, heck, I haven't actually studied naturalism, real life or reality. I haven't studied stylized. I haven't studied political theatre or epic theatre. I've got some links there to those different styles. Go and have a look. Go and Google, as they say. The new verb, to Google. Go and have a look for yourself. That's all down there. And my email address is on here somewhere. So I'm going to stop sharing that for a moment. There's your taster. Now, a frequently asked question is this. If I just get up my PowerPoint here, frequently asked questions are not about the linear A-level, but they are about college requirements. So I know that many schools cannot allow their students, and particularly students on a particular pathway, to take a creative arts GCSE or BTEC. So you come to A-level thinking, I've always loved drama, or I've always done dance, or I've always done performing arts, but I haven't got that qualification. Can I still do it at A-level? And the answer to that is quite clear, and it is yes, but you must come with plenty of experience. This is not suitable for somebody who liked drama at year 9 and had a lead in the school panto in year 5. That is no good. You cannot do this. It's an A-level, an advanced level. So you need to be somebody who has got considerable performance experience. Now that can be if you have been in a youth group. I know lots of people out there are members at the Little Theatre, or you might have gone to Pauline Quirk Theatre School and always done drama. You know, on a Saturday, you might be in Curve Young Company, or you might, and equally, and you might think this is a bit strange for me to say this, but if you've been a dancer and always been to dance school and done that since you were age 3 to now, dance, it has a really good awareness perception of space and performance, and dancers are eligible for a drama A level just because of their awareness of performance and their awareness of their body and their physical skills as well. Although that might not be vocal, that's something that you will understand. So that's important. Now, if you haven't done it, you can still apply as long as you have the experience that I have just talked about, but there is a compulsory interview with me. So on enrolment, if you have not got a qualification, you must have an interview with me. I'm going to ask you some questions about your experience, and I'm going to ask you some questions about what you have done, and it must be current experience. So if you're someone who has not done any drama and you're desperate to do A-level drama, do something about it now. Go out and do something this summer. Go do something. You've got the longest summer holiday you've ever had from when you finished your GCSEs. Go and do something and get some experience, and then talk to me about it in a really sophisticated way and tell me all about your experience. Okay, I think that's clear. And then I kind of I've got one eye on the time. I wanted to share with you the way we are going to be working. We'll be using published texts. So if you have read plays and you've learnt lines, that's good. You will be doing practical workshops. In fact, everything when you start is very practical. Do not expect to sit down. Do not expect to use a chair. If we sit, we sit on the floor, and we're on our feet a lot. So this is the kind of A-level for somebody who is a very physical person who wants to be up and doing, and you'll find that I lead from the front. I barely sit down. So you'll be doing things and showing little bits and bobs back to the others in the class. This is the subject where you will get your best friends, I assure you, because we see everyone working. We're all up and moving and working together. We're working in different groups with different people. You'll get to know people really well. It's absolutely imperative that we visit the theatre. We have to visit the theatre. This is compulsory. So that is an expense. If you are have a family with a low income, then you can apply for subsidy in college for that, but you will visit the theatre. I do try that we get one free trip a year, and now, having been in lockdown, there are lots of free online resources that you can see a live online resource, but I do like to get out there, and I am desperate to get back into the theatre when we're allowed soon. And as you'll see, if you're the sort of person who's got an interest, maybe you're combining this with art. I've had extreme success over the last few years with people focusing on set design instead of acting, or acting and set design, or even light and sound. We had light and sound and set designers this year, and they have done extremely well. And then blah, 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 blah. I think I'd like to show you now, enough talking, some of our students' work. So here's our current students. Now, they have been working on directing, and they've been doing some live directing scenes on a play, a Greek play called The Trojan Women. And we are working on how we put our practical performance experience in the studio onto paper in our exams. So you're going to see Susie and Kitty talking about how they plan to do that.
So we're doing the scene where Talthybius comes to tell Andromache that her baby's got to be taken to be killed. So we would have the chorus centre stage left, all gathered together as all the women sort of surrounding and protecting the baby. And then Talthybius would be centre stage right with his soldier that he comes with to get the baby. And then Hecuba would be to the left of Andromache, to give her some moral support as well as to protect her grandson.
And Andromache will be in the centre stage in front of the chorus. Andromache would also be holding a bundle for the baby, which she can pass back to the chorus when Talthybius orders the baby to be taken away. Andromache and Talthybius will be in sort of a standoff thing that they don't really move. They just like shout. Well, Andromache shouts and Talthybius kind of stands there, so that it focuses more on the dialogue of the section rather than movement more. The chorus doesn't really move either. They kind of back away a bit out of fear, but apart from that, there's not loads of movement because we wanted to focus more on the interaction between the characters.
Oops, starting again. Okay, so thank you to those two. So they really thought that through of how they were going to put that onto stage. And now I'm going to share with you something that our students were working on. I'll share a couple of minutes and then I'll leave a little bit of time for some questions. They were working on using the skills of frantic assembly, and they combined it with our play, which at the moment is The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, which some of you may have seen or even read. I'll just show you a bit of this. So they're using frantic conventions and the text of Curious Incident. Hopefully I can find them. I had earlier. I'm going to lose them now, aren't I? Oh, there we go. So it was these guys. 4, 5.
I'm sorry. I never meant to hurt you.
Okay, I'm going to stop there to see if there are any questions. I love that piece. It just made me think how much I miss those students there. It's about 2 or 3 years old, and they've all gone on to better things, but they were brilliant. And are there any questions? We've got 1 minute, I think. That's not.
We've got till 10:40.
Have we?
Yes, we have half-hour session.
Oh yes, of course. I can't do maths, obviously. Okay, well that's good. So questions then. So I look in the Q&A. I have got no questions, I think. So if nobody's got any questions, where do I go from here? I could go back to some other things. I was going to share some things with you, and everything took a little bit longer. So thinking on my feet now. I just wanted to make sure everybody could access everything they needed to see about the course, basically. So again, I'm pretty sure that you're bright enough to find your own way to our website. But I just thought I'd show you where to find some stuff out. If you were thinking, oh, I can't remember what the requirements were or how this course would be taught. So obviously you look on our courses and you choose A levels. You obviously choose drama. I just want to show you there were some quite nice things here though. And then you've got your course overview. If you want to hear my dull voice over again, if you click on this, you'll have me explaining the as it runs through a video, not of me, but explaining the course to you again. Here are the entry requirements. I noticed that I think we've got about, oh, I've got some Q&As now. I'll come back to that in a minute. We've got 3 or 4 people have entered since, or it might be up to 5 since I began. So if you've entered now and didn't hear what I said at the beginning, that's the entry qualifications and how you will study and how the course is examined. I don't need to go through that again. However, there's a really rather nice link here to all sorts of things. So you've got me again, and you've also got some pictures of things we do here at WQE. Here's some pictures of some of the shows that we've put on, and we're hoping and praying, you know, all being well, that we'll get back to doing some performances. Our performances come under enrichments, and we've done student performances where they have been written by the students themselves. This one was called Back to the Greasy Hairspray. So it's a mashup of the plays that you will hear in the title, and it was written and performed by the students and directed by the students and choreographed by the students. This is actually Hairspray that was directed by myself and the musical director Beth Williams here, and that our musicals go on at the Little Theatre. I'm not sure if we'll be able to do one next year, but certainly the year after we would plan to do that. And it was big scale. It was fantastic. As you can see, it really was beautiful. And we had about 40, 45. We don't limit the number of people who can be in it. This is more pictures from it. Workshops. This is a picture of our studio. I know it's not a very clear one, but here's our studio. And we do invite along people who are practitioners of the styles that we study. Do you remember right at the beginning of this session, I said to you that the difference with A level is we've got to become quite proficient in the styles and techniques of other theatre companies. That's what we've got to learn to do to put into our own work. And here, I think this company was, I'm showing you there, was Splendid Theatre. They were fantastic. And here I'd like to show you, this is our performing arts newsletter. I'm proud of it. I mean, it kind of goes through, probably better if you were able to download it, but have a look at it. It shows you all the things that we've been up to. And it also shows you at the end where people have gone on to. Students from our courses have gone on to their destinations. And in a general way, that's something that often people are interested in. This is a subject that combines well with lots of other things. And I would say about 70% of students from this subject go on to do related but not drama or performing arts. So they might do law, they might go into sort of social services, they might do work where they might work in healthcare. So things that are interpersonal skills that can be developed through drama, they would use those into subjects that aren't related at all to drama. But we do have a percentage who do go on. Some of the people in the clip you just saw, Joey now is at Bird Musical Theatre Acting School. We've had quite a few go on to acting schools from last year. but certainly not all. It's just less than a handful every year. It's mostly that the subject is good for general skills, interpersonal skills, building your confidence, and it has an academic quality to it. So do expect to have to write and to reflect, to analyze and to evaluate, and it will build all those skills that will be necessary for university. So it will help you there. So lastly, I'll show you, this is our drama trip to New York. Again, I don't think this year we'll be able to go, but you will be part of the new cohort that we would be able to go the year after. Now, we've been running these for years. I've been about 6 or 7 times. I'm fed up of New York. No, I'm joking. I'm not fed up of New York, but it's a fantastic trip. Okay, so there's all the other information. So you now know how to get there from our website. Now I've got some questions, so I will answer live. Okay, so somebody's asked me about set design. A good question. Well, actually, if you want to take set design as your final skill in the A-level, then you would do everything that the rest of us are doing until it came to the component 1 and or component 2 schemes of work. So you would kind of have to do everything with us. So you would be doing some acting, you'll be doing some performance work, but it will be in class and it would be on small tasks. But when it came to the examinable courses, component 1 and component 2, everybody else would take an acting skill and you would take the set design skill. And they do, and component 1 is 20%, component 2 is 40%. Okay, so that's how that would work. Will we be doing any Shakespearean text for our practical work? Actually, no, that isn't one of our chosen. I'll just be straight with you here. That isn't one of our chosen texts or the exam board's texts. However, that is something you could choose if you wanted as a stimulus for your component 2 devised piece. Some people have chosen Romeo and Juliet and Othello as their text performances in component 2, either to do the text or to use them as a stimulus. So there is an element of choice in component 2, and you could choose Shakespeare if you love it, as I do. Great. Another question. Okay, how do I apply for changing a course to do drama? Now, I'm not sure I can answer that for you. I've got to be honest, but I will try and find out that answer for you. Okay, so the person who's answered that question, I'll make a note of your name and I'll find out that answer for you, because that's the nuts and bolts of signing an enrollment, but I will find out. So I've made a note of your name and I'll get that answer. Sending the taster work to me is the other question, and that can be just through my email, which is on the taster work sheet that's on Q. But I could tell you now, I don't know if you can see my name on the screen, but my name is Sharon Brannan, and it's lots of doubles. So SHARRON dot BRANNEN. That's SHARRON dot BRANNEN, all lowercase, and that's at wqe.ac.uk. wqe.ac.uk. That's all the questions for now, and that's how you can contact me. But you know, if you forget that, it's on the website somewhere. I think I need to round up now. Thank you all for being here. I might have one more question. I've got 5. Oh, I have one more, sorry. Interviews, if you haven't done GCSE drama, they will be on enrollment. So so somebody asked a really good question. On enrollment, I'll be given your name and you will meet with me either in person if we're allowed to, which I would love that, or you will meet me on a phone headset and I'll chat to you either face to face, online, or just orally. Okay, so that's something that will happen on enrollment. Okay, I'm saying that too often. I think I've got 1 more minute if anyone's got any more questions. No, I just forgot to scroll down. Apologies. I'm used to Teams, not Zoom so much. If there are no other questions, it's been lovely to meet you all, and I hope to see you all in person, in the flesh, face to face, in the drama studio next academic term. Goodbye from me.